What's going on? How you doing? My name is David the Crook, and today I'm going to show you how to mix little baby type vocals. But before we get into the video, I want to remind you to subscribe and drop a like. I have a song here. It is called Lit by Little JJ. I'm going to play the hook and part of the verse.
Young nigga, yeah, I'm fucking lit. I'll be going, see me working till I'm fucking rich. Ayy, 5 hoes, girl, you number 6. I had niggas do me dirty, they're the reason why I tug a stick. Ayy, hit a mills on my bucket list. I ain't playing when I say that I'ma blow up like a puffer fish. Ayy, I'm that nigga bitches fucking with. Only chillin' with the realest, you won't catch me on some sucker shit, nah. Gas, I be smoking, it be hella dense. Straight clean, nigga, all about my elegance. Ayy, I ain't tripping off these niggas, they irrelevant.
I ended up turning off all the plugins just because we will be turning on the plugins one by one. And one of the first things you want to do when you're mixing little baby type vocals or any vocals in general is you want to keep the levels consistent. You want to keep the vocals consistent. And you could do that either going into the DAW and automating it yourself, the vocals, or using a plugin like Vocal Writer. I'm using Outlaw, and what Outlaw is going to do is help automate and keep the vocals consistent. I'm not grabbing 100% of the mix. I'm only grabbing 50% just because I like that blend. I like that mixture of the raw dynamics as well as this new automated dynamics. It's off, and it's with the on. Then from here, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna add a de-esser because we are going for little baby type vocals. We are gonna be boosting up the higher frequencies a lot. I'm not going for too much de-essing. It's just a little bit of de-essing just to tame some of those S's. I'm gonna use RVox because RVox is that plugin that just gets your vocals to cut through the mix. To me, this is one of those go-to plugins where you just throw it on all the vocals no matter what and it's gonna sound good. And then I'm only compressing at 3.5. Then from here, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna add this effect rack, and this is gonna be the first EQ we're using on the vocals, the side EQ off Sound Toys effect rack. If you haven't seen my last video, I gave you all the links to the Ultimate Music Producer, Music Engineer COVID-19 Survival Pack. It's like hella gigabytes worth of sample pack plugins, whether they're temporary or they're forever. I'll put the link down below in the description so you can check it out. It's like how to get Ozone 9 for free, how to use these, limited time, pigments, stuff like that. I'm gonna add some drive, bring up the highness because we want that crispiness in the vocals, and then boost it up around 5K just to take out more presence out of the vocals. I ended up adding a little bit of low, not too much. I'm that nigga bitches fucking with. Only chillin' with the realest, you won't catch me on some sucker shit. Man, if I'm being completely honest, this EQ is amazing. I love how it sounds on the vocals. From here, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna add the SSL E channel strip plugin. What I'm gonna do here is I'm gonna use this EQ to shape the vocals. I like the EQ curve within the plugin and how it makes the vocal sound. I ended up boosting 16K for dBs just because we do want to have that nice presence in the vocals. I did another boost around 6K, 1.5 just to bring out more presence, and then I did a dip around 400 to take out some of that boxiness. And then the next thing I added was a Pultec EQ, boost up some of that low end as well as boosted some of the high end at 12K just to bring out more presence in the vocals. And this is what it sounds like before it and then after. This is one of those EQs that really gives it that little baby sound. Hit a mills on my bucket list. I ain't playing when I say that I'm gonna blow up like a puffer fish. I'm that nigga bitches fucking with. Only chillin' with the realest, you won't catch me on some sucker shit. No gas. F6 by Waves. The cool thing about this is because it's not really an EQ, it's more of a, I think they call it a dynamic EQ, where you're not really cutting those frequencies, you're more compressing those frequencies. So for example, like this, I cut 400 just because that's where that boxiness in his voice is, and I'm not cutting out those frequencies, I'm more compressing it. So if I were to solo it, I ain't playing when I say that I'm gonna blow up like a puffer. Those are the frequencies that I want to be compressed, as well as boosting up some of the highs just to get more of the crispiness out of the highs. Next thing you want to do to get that little baby type vocals is you want to add a lot of compression. The first compressor I'm going to be using is this vintage OPT. I have the distortion on soft, auto gain on off. This is a stock Logic Pro X compressor. This compressor works amazing, especially if you turn that distortion on soft. It adds so much highness to your vocals and just makes your vocals feel a lot fuller. This is like one of my go-to compressors. Hey, hit a mills on my bucket list. I ain't playing when I
I say that I'ma blow up like a puffer fish. Ay, I'm that nigga bitches fucking with. Only
and with these compressors, you do want to have a good amount of compression. I think I have the most compression using this CLA2. I like this compressor because it models those vintage old compressors. It just adds like a nice color to the vocals. And the cool thing about it is that they're like stupid cheap. I got this one for like 29 bucks. In reality, like the actual compressor costs like thousands of bucks. So I ended up just buying this for now. I also have a 10% discount code by Waze if you want to use it. I'll link it down below in the description. So if the plugin is 29 bucks, you get it for like 26 bucks. Stupid cheap.
Ay, hit a mills on my bucket list. I'm straight clean, nigga, all about my elegance. Ay, I ain't tripping off these niggas, they irrelevant. All the hating ain't gonna stop.
To add more to that little baby style vocals is you want to add autotune. I don't have the autotune all the way on. I have it at around speed of 14, the note transition at 12. And the reason I have it like this is because I don't want the autotune fully affect like T-Pain. I kind of want to have that blend of the actual vocals as well as the autotune feel on the vocals.
Ay, hit a mills on my bucket list. I ain't playing when I say that I'ma blow up like a puffer fish. Ay, I'm that nigga bitches fucking with.
I'm adding a de-esser just to de-ess some of those high frequencies because I did boost a lot of that high end. I want to de-ess those S's. To S's, a V, a J, and then some of the breaths. So that's the cool thing about sibilants.
Ay, hit a mills on my bucket list. I ain't playing when I say that.
And then the last plugin I added on the vocal train is S1 Imager. And all this is really doing is just widening up the vocals just to make the vocals feel wider and bigger. From here, what I'm going to do is I'm going to bust all the rest of the plugins. First plugin I'm going to bust is this effect rack, radiator.
Ay, hit a mills on my bucket list. I ain't playing when I say that I'ma blow up like a puffer fish. Ay, I'm that nigga bitches fucking with.
And then from here, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna bust some H delay. What I did, turn the analog off. I put a 1/8 note, cut some of that low end, and then I also sidechain the vocals just because I don't want the vocals to have so much delay. I kind of just want it in the pauses, and when he's rapping, I want the delay to be like duck.
Ay, hit a mills on my bucket list. I ain't playing when I say that I'ma blow up like a puffer fish. Ay, I'm that nigga bitches fucking with. Only chillin' with the realest, you won't catch me on some suck.
I don't want it to be that noticeable. I kind of want it to be in the background. Depending on the reverbs you're adding is depending on how the vocals are gonna feel. With the little baby type vocals, you want those big open reverbs. First one I use the stock Logic Pro Space Designer. It's a large hall. I like how this one sounds on the vocals. I also EQ'd it, took out some of those lows, boost up some of those mid highs, and then cut out some of those highs just because I kind of want the upper mids to have the reverb, and then I dropped the M2 on it just to take out more of that reverb out of the vocals.
Ay, hit a mills on my bucket list. I ain't playing when I say that I'ma blow up like a puffer fish. Ay, I'm that nigga bitches fucking with. Only chillin' with the realest, you won't catch me on some sucker shit, no. Yeah.
That sounds good like that. Reverb I added was little plate. I ended up cutting out some of those lows, boosting up a little bit more about that 1K instead of higher up. I added resonance just to take out more of that reverb. This is like a dope thing to throw onto your reverbs just to bring out more of that room. And then I also sidechained this reverb just because I don't want this reverb to overtake the vocals in the consistency of the decay time.
I be smoking, it be hella dense. Straight clean, nigga, all about my elegance. Ay, I ain't tripping off these niggas, they irrelevant. All the hating ain't gonna stop me from developing. Don't be hating.
I'll link the song in the description so you can check out the full song. I also put the link to the Ultimate Producer Engineer COVID-19 Survival Pack. Now, if you want to get your song mixed and mastered by me, feel free to hit me up on my Instagram or my website. Everything will be down below in the description. I want to remind you to subscribe and drop a like, and I hope to see you in the next video. My name is David the Crook. Peace.